Hey, this is Chad with Be Gone for Good. I make videos all about adventure motorcycling, from the bikes to the trips that I've taken to DIYs and tutorials. Anything that has to do with adventure motorcycling, you're going to find it on this channel. If that sounds like something that'd be interesting to you, definitely feel free to subscribe. Hit that like button below here or that notification bell if you want to get updates of every new video that we post. If you've already been a subscriber of this channel, we want to thank you for coming back. Today's going to be an absolute monster of a conversation, and I can't wait to bring it to you. Let's roll that intro. We're going to get into the top 5 reasons why I think maybe the Africa Twin might not be for you. Now, if you've seen my previous video about the CB500X from Honda, you know that there can be an awful lot of passion when it comes to this subject. I started out on a CB500X, loved that bike while I had it, but wanted to step up a little bit, moved over to the Africa Twin. I loved my bike when I bought it, I love it now to this day, but I do also recognize that there are different tools for different jobs. You wouldn't necessarily want to bring a hammer to do a wrench's job and a wrench to do a hammer's job. So what I'm going to talk about today is some of the things that may need to be considered if you're looking perhaps for a different tool to do the AT's job. The first thing I would like to talk about is weight. I did a little poll with a Facebook group that I belong to that is all Africa Twin owners, and everybody across the board almost unanimously said that weight is one of their biggest issues that they had with the AT. Now, as an off-road bike, that makes sense. Lifting up 500 pounds a few times during the course of a trail ride can be really difficult, especially when you have a different option of all the way down to 250s, 500s, maybe even 700s in your wheelhouse. If something like that may be an issue for you, if you're planning on doing a lot of off-road, maybe the AT isn't the exact bike for you, because I will tell you from experience, picking this thing up 12 times in a single day in the hot desert sun out in Utah takes its toll. It will kill your motivation, it will kill your desire to do it again. It absolutely crushed me during that time. If you are interested in doing a lot of off-road and maybe thinking that you're going to be having to pick up your bike over and over, check out the AT, check out its weight. As far as leader bikes go, I don't think it's necessarily outside of the weight of any of the others, but it may be a better option for you to step down to a smaller bike if you do know that you're going to be dropping it fairly often. The second consideration that I think it's worthwhile noting when it comes to the AT is its power. Now, this can go one of two ways. I know that for myself, I was really happy to start out on a much smaller bike that didn't have the power that the AT did while I was learning how to ride. It was so good that I didn't have the capability of zooming past people or doing 95 miles an hour on my first bike, because I probably would have done it and I probably would have been a lot less safe about it. Now that I'm a little bit more experienced, now that I know the proper amount of speed that I need to do certain things, I feel more confident on the AT and can step up to a more powerful bike. This also works in the opposite direction. If you're coming from a BMW or a KTM type category that just runs crazy with power, the AT might be a little underwhelming for you. It's got a very linear power band, so there's not a lot of get up and go at any specific moment during the course of that throttle roll. If it's something that you're really looking for, if you're looking for a bike that can really drive out of the gate and punch past people and blow your hair back, maybe the AT isn't the perfect bike for you and you want to check out some other options. Just a consideration. It has plenty of power. I love it. It gets me where I need to go, but it might not be enough if the thrill is something you're looking for on your adventure bike. For number 3, our consideration is going to be the height of the bike. Now, I'm a fairly tall guy, so height isn't really an issue for me when it comes to this bike. And if you've ever seen Jocelyn Snow throw around her 1200 GS, you understand that height doesn't necessarily mean that you can't ride a bike. However, if you're a smaller rider, maybe you want to take a look at the AT and see if it's something that fits you and that's something that you're going to be comfortable on. It is a fairly tall bike. They have some adjustments that can be made when it comes to pegs, and the seat height has a high and a low setting, so that may be enough to get you to where you want to be. Make sure that you're aware of this before you purchase the bike. Make sure that you check out some other bikes. Maybe it's worth stepping down to a smaller 500 or a 700 that's a little bit lower on the clearance side so that you can get on that bike and operate it comfortably. All right, for number 4, we're going to be talking about creature comforts. This deals with cruise control, USB ports, anything that you have on that bike that really just makes it a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more handy to ride. The 17 Africa Twin doesn't have it. I've heard that the 2020 and the 2019 models sort of remedied some of these things with their throttle by wire so that you can get cruise control on there. Some of those things that just come standard on other bikes weren't on the Africa Twin. Now it happened to work out really well for me because of those extra items tend to add extra price, and the Africa Twin came in at a really perfect price point for me. Now those are the things that you can add to the bike, obviously, and you can always do a little bit of modification here and there to kind of work around. But if what you're looking for is creature comforts and the absolute top of the line technologically that you can get on a bike, maybe the Africa Twin isn't the best route to go for you. All right, the final consideration that I would throw out for the Africa Twin is cost. Now the Africa Twin is not an expensive bike when you get up into those leader bike categories by any means, and they're getting cheaper and cheaper new ones off the floor for your 16s and 17s now that they've got the 19s and 2020s out. If you can get those, great, that's perfect. However, I want to say to anybody out there that thinks that this is the absolute pinnacle bike that they want to get, but maybe can't afford just yet, don't let the bike you want get in the way of the bike you can get. I started on a CB500X because that's where my price point was. I was looking in that $5 to $7 grand range, and that made it easier for me to get into this sport and be able to start riding. If you can't get up to that 10, 12, 14 grand range, get whatever bike you can, start riding, get some experience, and work your way up into the Africa Twin. Those cheaper bikes are much easier to get rid of, are much easier to sell on to the next guy, and they retain their value really well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's prohibitive for you to get into the sport itself. It may just keep you out of the AT. Those are my top 5 reasons for why maybe the Africa Twin isn't the best bike for you. If you think I missed something, please leave a comment down below. If you think I'm absolutely out of my mind when it comes to some of these, also leave a comment. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up down there, and if you dislike the video, let me know just how much you disliked it by hitting that thumbs up as well. That would be a real big help for me. If you have any other questions, anything else you want to know about the Africa Twin or the CB500X, reach out to me and I'll get you any information that I can to help you out in your decision making. Thank you very much for watching. We appreciate it here at Be Gone for Good. We'll keep producing videos for you. Subscribe to the channel if this is the sort of stuff you want to see. See ya!